Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we will see a very special topic which is how to implement a bind polyfill. So you must be thinking why we chose this topic. So this topic because this is a very famous interview question asked in most of the big companies. So that's why we are going to take this topic specifically and focus what is bind polyfill. So in this video, we will see how to implement a dot bind polyfill. So in our last video, we saw the setup for setting up the environment for ES6. So if you haven't watched that video yet, please go and watch and let me know if you have any doubts regarding that video in the comment section below. So let's see how to implement a bind polyfill. But guys, before that, I would like to tell you about what is a polyfill and why we use it. So basically, a polyfill is a piece of code that implements a functionality that is not natively supported by a browser. All browsers might not have a native functionality provided by the newer versions of the browser. To make it work on the old browsers, we generally write or use polyfills. So now how to approach to polyfill types of problems in JavaScript. So basically, first step, there are 4 steps which we follow. So first step will be write down the use case about the user scenarios for the functionality. So first we will write the use case. Second, we will create test cases for the functionality. Third, we will implement our code. And fourth, we will do a dry run for that. So this is the 4 steps. Don't worry guys, we will see each step individually so that it will make more logic to this. So now, before going into the example section, I would like you guys to know about what is bind. So what is bind basically? Bind is a method available on the function object. So any function that we create should have access to this method. So we use dot bind whenever we want to execute a function in a particular context. This context we already saw in our last ES6 videos. So we will see this in particular now. So dot bind returns a new copy of the bound function. So how it works, let's see in the example section. We are here in the example section. Now we will see the implementation of a dot bind polyfill. But before that, I want you all to know how bind works. So what bind does. So let's see. So here we are having a user object which is having name as some value JS Ninja, and it will have a function print. So this is a print function. So this print function will do nothing, but it will just console the value of this dot name. So this dot name. Yeah. So this is the context for this user. Now we will, in order to call the print function, we will write user dot print. So here, as we already saw in arrow function ES6 class, that whatever is there before the dot will be the context, will be the environment for the print function. So here user. So now when we console the result, here we get as JS Ninja. Yeah. So now we will see another function, set timeout, which is basically a window function. So inside set timeout, we will call user dot print, and the set timeout function will execute after 100 milliseconds. So let's console and see the value what it returns. So it returns as undefined. First console is for the user.print, which is returning us JS Ninja, and then the set timeout is returning us undefined. So why undefined? Because basically in backend what is happening, set timeout is a window function. So window function, that means window, before the dot window is there, that means window is the environment. So in window object, it will search the value for name. But since window doesn't have any name, so it will return us undefined. So how to make this scenario happen? I mean work. So what we can do is we can bind this. So with using dot bind, we can bind the user. This what will happen here if we use the dot bind. Then for the set timeout function, user will be the environment. So user name is having a value as JS Ninja. So here we are getting JS Ninja as the output. So this is how we can bind and use some for some scenarios we can use the bind function like this. So next we will see the polyfill thing. So guys, now here we are seeing example for implementing the bind polyfill. What are the steps? So step 1 was to write the use cases. Step 2 was to write the test cases. Step 3 was to write a code, and step 4 was to do a dry run. So in stepwise we are going to see. For this example, user is an object, and we are just calling user.print. So here firstly what we are doing, we are showing the how to write use cases and test cases in this slide. So use case, so scenario 1, use case or scenario is same thing. So scenario 1, what we will do, we will just, this is the syntax, function dot bind with the context. So here what we are doing, here we are binding user dot print with user context. Yeah. So next scenario, what will be, next scenario we are doing function dot bind to the context and passing multiple parameters, n number of parameters, whatever you want you can pass, dynamic parameters. So here we are just function, we are user dot print, we are binding with user context and passing dynamic parameter as test. So instead of JS Ninja, name will be passed as test. Now in third scenario, what we are doing, we are function dot bind, we are binding to to the context and returning it inside another function which is called bound function. So to that bound function we can pass multiple n number of parameters. So this is another scenario which we can use. So let's see the example here. User.print, we are binding with user context and we are returning into bound function. Then that bound function we are passing the dynamic parameter or the name value as test. So this is the use cases. So now let's see how to create a polyfill for bind function. So as you know, these are the three scenarios, scenario 1, 2 and 3. So based on these scenarios, we will see how we can create it. So let's see. We will write a condition. So what this line will do, this line will check if bind method already exists in the function prototype chain. As you all know that for modern browsers, bind is supported, but for old browsers, bind is not supported. So this line is checking that whether already bind function is defined or not, because we do not want to override it. So this makes sure that we don't override any existing method. So let's create our own bind method if it does not exist on the function object. So as bind is a function, so inside function.prototype we are defining the bind function. So we need to add it to the prototype so that this method is available for any function we create. Now let's go into the basic structure. So here what we are doing, we are taking this function's context, which is this, and storing it into a variable this context, namely this context. So don't get confused. In line number 12, we are having a function. This function will have its own context. So that context we are saving in the variable this context. Next, what we will do? Yeah. So here function. Next, we will bind the context. We are taking the context, bound context. So this variable, what it will store is arguments. So arguments, you all know that the whatever arguments we are passing to the function, all the arguments will be held inside the arguments array. So we are taking the first index of the argument array, so which will return us the context, because you all know that context is the first argument. So here in bound context, we are returning the context, which is the first argument. So other arguments also are there. From argument 1 to argument n, other arguments you can pass. So we in a variable bound args, we are taking all the n number of arguments. So how we can do that? So just what we need to do, we need to splice arguments dot splice of 1. So apart from the first argument, first index, it will give rest other index, argument 1 to argument n. So this we are storing it inside bound args. So totally we are getting the entire argument list. Now what we are going to check is, if, as you already know, that it works only with function. So we are going to check type of this context should be a function. If it is not a function, then it should return us with an error saying not a valid function. So it will, if it is not a type of is not function, it will throw us an error with not a valid function. So after this, as you have already seen in scenario 3, what we do, we just bind the function with its context, and we are returning it inside another function, which is bound function. And in that bound function, we are passing n number of arguments. So that only we are going to execute here. So what we will do, we will take return function. Inside this function, we are taking the arguments. So what we will have the args will be the bound arguments, which already have taken in line number 15, and along with that we will have the arguments of this particular function. So totally we are having the total arguments inside args, const args. Now we will pass this entire args into the bound function. So this context dot apply. So we will use apply to call this function. So now we will pass the bound context comma args. So bound context is the context, and with the argument list we are passing it. So this is how the polyfill is created for bind function. So, and condition is necessary to check whether the bind function is already defined or not, because we do not want to override the existing function. So this is how we are creating the polyfill. We will go for the last step, that is the fourth step. So once our implementation is ready, we will go back to our test cases and do a dry run over our code. So a dry run is just to make sure that we are handling as many cases as possible, and you will always get an extra point whenever you follow a test driven approach to development. So that's why this is important. So we will, as you already know, that modern browsers already support bind. So here we will output and check. The 3 scenarios are there, right? We will check the console for the 3 scenarios. So we are getting the result. So first we are getting JS Ninja, and then we are getting undefined. Why? Because you can see first we are passing user. So this dot name will be JS Ninja, and second data we are not passing anything. So data we are not passing, so it is undefined. So for the second console, we are getting JS Ninja and test. So why JS Ninja? Because user, we are binding the context. So user name is JS Ninja and test is the argument which we are passing. So that's why JS Ninja and test. For this third scenario, we are getting name as JS Ninja, and we are passing in bound function. We are getting it into a bound function, and then in bound function we are passing argument sample. So that we are getting as the console output. So JS Ninja and sample. So now this works here because it's a modern browser. So bind anyway will work for a modern browser. But if we change the function from bind to some other function name, suppose we will write JS Ninja function. And now we will check. We will replace the bind everywhere. And now we will check the output. Yeah. So now when we check the output, it gives us the result. So that means in old browsers also this code will work, because in old browsers we will use bind and bind is not present. So that code will be written polyfill code, and then we can execute our 3 scenarios. So this is how we are doing the bind polyfill implementation. So I hope you are clear, guys. If you have any doubt regarding this concept, you can just write down your doubts in the comment section or send a mail regarding the topic. So I will look into the issue and try to make another video out of it. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like it, do like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to press the bell icon, because whenever we will come up with a new video, you will be notified. Thank you, guys.